Hey, good morning. How are you? My name is Mr. Louis. We are here in beautiful and very cold Colombia, at least here in the capital. Uh, and I'm going to continue with my fourth video about weird, rare, unusual movies, hard to find or not really hard to find. And today I'm gonna continue with some of them. In some cases, I have the movie still with the case, the original case, which is super cool. But in other cases, I have to recognize because moving around, I have lost the case, so I have just this the disc. So I don't know if you remember in my first video, I show you a science fiction classic, Alien, which is from I think 78. The super original. You know Sigourney Weaver and those guys. She was the only one who survived, and then move on to other sequels. But with the pass of the years, Hollywood decided to put together two great movies, Alien and Predator. Predator. So they released this Alien versus Predator. Remember that? So guess what? As I have Alien, I also have the original Predator. Let's put it like this so you can see it because the reflex is terrible. This is the original Predator. Predator. You see it? Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, is Billy D. Williams? I'm not sure, you know, um, because it's the guy from Rocky, Apollo Creed. In some other actors, I think he was one of those famous WWE wrestler. I don't remember what was the name. Um, the A girl from Mexico, an actress from Mexico also. That movie was filmed in Mexico, actually, this movie, the original one, which is very simple. They are in the jungle and they start um, attacked and killed by the predator one by one. Jean-Claude Van Damme was invited to perform the original Predator, but he didn't like because he wasn't able to show his face. So things of actors. Kevin Michael Hall, something like that, is the actor who performed the original Predator with a super cool um, costume. I love that costume. And this is the original one. Okay. I don't know if it's possible to see these days in Amazon Prime or Netflix, but because it's popular. But this is the original one. So I don't know how easy it is to find it. Okay, let's continue here. Let's continue with something that now. Okay, this movie is super famous, but I brought it to the group because now in Netflix, well, originally was in YouTube Prime, and then they moved to Netflix. They're showing one of these series, and the name is Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is the name of the dojo that was portrayed in the original movie of the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid had the two rivalry between the Cobra Kai, what was established, and the new Miyagi-Do group or dojo. And in Cobra Kai, they talk about like 30 years later about the rivalry between Daniel LaRusso and what was the name of the guy? Zach Bai is the name of the actor. I don't remember. Johnny Lawrence. I think that's the name of the role, the character. So LaRusso and the blonde guy, they come again with this rivalry. So if you like Netflix and If you have seen Cobra Kai, you know what I'm talking about. But some kids, they had no idea about the original movie. Yeah, it was very famous. Yes, it was super famous, like a Splash with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah. But guess what? We have the original Karate Kid. The original Karate Kid, with Mr. Miyagi, Ralph Macchio when he was very young. And this is Daniel Sapka, this is the actor, in the last scene, the crane kick, you know. So this is the original. Um, and here's Ali, who is supposed to return to the series in this third season. And you really the new kids, if you like Cobra Kai, I know they have the new characters, the new little well, not little, but the new characters, teenagers. But if you really want to understand the movie, you need to see at least this one. There are Karate Kid uh, second, third, and the fourth was with not with Ralph Macchio, but with geez, I forgot the name of this actress, but it was Mr. Miyagi with a new student. Okay, and well, it's not necessary to see the four parts, but this original is super super cool. Okay, so I highly recommend. I think it's possible to find it in the internet, but if you can get it, the original is super cool. Okay, great. Let's continue with the next movie. In this case, I go again with the no case disc, and this one in particular is again a musical. Okay, this is really, really weird and rare. First of all, because belongs to a band that is not really popular. It's a band from Jamestown, close around New York, from the 80s. Actually, they started, in the 80s when some rebel bands start playing around, and it wasn't a famous band. It was like those really underground bands. They started to show that because in the past when some guys start playing, they try to be famous. But in this case, it's one of these bands that they don't want to be famous. They just wanted to play music. So I don't know if you know these guys. The name of the band is 10,000 Maniacs, as you can see here. And this movie, this documentary is called Time Capsule, and it's about their their career. Natalie Merchant is the name of the leader of the band in this time, because now they split. But it's super cool if you like to know about really alternative music, now popular at all. It's completely underground, and it's cool music. It's pop. It's simply pop music, but it's interesting to see a band that is completely unknown, and just they just want to play music. That's all. So I love their music. I really like it. The only famous thing that they did was the remember those MTV Unplugged, or I don't remember. I don't know if MTV continues with that. I don't think so. Now MTV is just we are serious the whole day. So, but in the time that when MTV was cool, MTV play aired videos the whole day, and they have these concerts or the famous Unplugged. Maybe you remember those. So they did the MTV Unplugged. And the most famous song is "Because the Night," which is not from them, it's from Bruce Springsteen. But it's interesting to see a documentary of probably few bands that they just wanna play music together. That was all. Okay, so here's the documentary about them. Really, really rare. This one, really rare. Okay, good. I'm going to continue with the next one. The next one is another kind of documentary, a little controversial maybe. In this moment, I think they don't exist anymore. This one that you cannot find it probably in Amazon, but I don't know. Maybe used, new is impossible. And it's about a book. I don't have the book actually, but it's about a book released in 1950. The book is called Dianetics, and Dianetics stated at the time that they have a solution for traumas or mental illnesses or situations, and they released this therapy, which in that time, the 50s and the 60s, in the study of the hippie movement, was very, very popular. Okay, also they in that time they had alternative things coming, especially in the 60s with the hippies and stuff, the Beatles. So the author of the book was also a writer, and he um, wrote this book talking about the mind, etc. It's in this moment, I don't know how popular this could be, because now movements like the Secret or the Kabbalah are more popular, I think. But in that time was very popular, and they released many videos, but this one was the first video on DVD, the DVD um, era. So that's why I put it in this group, because they released this. It was cool, everything, but for some reason they stopped releasing this, and now doesn't exist. You cannot find it unless somebody is selling on eBay, maybe as a used DVD, but new is impossible. In the internet, no, you cannot find it. So, and it's just 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes documentary. It's in 30 minutes, something like that. And it's very interesting because it's hard to find and talks about something that it's something that uh, was an idea in 1950 of a guy to help people with mental problems, or to help to improve your IQ, stuff like that, through this therapy. Okay, the book is, it's like it novel. It's a fat book, but you can have a glimpse or an overview of the book watching this video. I don't know if you can find it. It's my third video, like the Moses Code, this kind of thing, self-help stuff like that, but just in 30 minutes. So it's very interesting. If you can see it and have your own opinion, because these days kind of controversial, Dianetics, but if you can see it, you can have your own idea. Okay, I'm not promoting. I'm just recommending, so you can say by yourself, okay, is this and that. So it's very interesting. Um, Psychologists, psychiatrists, they should see it, or any person who is related with therapies for the mind, to help little kids with the behavior, stuff like that. You should see it and get ideas. As I said, I'm not promoting. I'm just saying that it could open your mind a little bit. Um, Besides anything that we know that we suppose that is supposed to be the way to solve mental problems. So really rare, really rare. This is like really hard to find, and it's a super super original one. Okay, good. I think we have time for one more. Okay, okay, this one is not rare. It's not rare, and I think it's famous. It's famous. Got some Oscars. Russell Crowe, best moment. Russell Crowe, the Australian actor. But why is here? Because I love it. Oh my god! With Schindler's List, probably Schindler's List, and I don't know, so La Vida è Bella, the Italian movie. Probably they are one of my favorites. And excuse me, but I know it's super famous, but it should be here because it's one of the best. A Beautiful Mind. It is the original one. Actually, I lost the case, but actually I had the deluxe edition, so I have this disc and also the other disc, which is the biography of John Nash, because it's a real story. And this movie is like a seminar. I mean, it's beautiful. It's not boring. If you have seen it, I'm sure that most guys watching this video remember this movie. Say, no, this movie is super famous. Yes, it is. And you enjoy it. So it's kind of drama and action. But when you go further than that, it's a seminar. It's a seminar of the mind. It's really like, wow. I mean, this your mind could be so Jesus Christ, so beautiful. So you could be so intelligent. You could be so complete with your mind when you watch this movie and you apply that to yourself. Like, wow. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's not only like just this and that. No, it's more than that. So this movie really expands, opens your mind. It's like boom. You know, blows your mind. Really blows your mind. Okay, so I know it's famous, but really I have to include it here. So I want to share with you that I have this deluxe version with the biography of John Nash. Okay, good. Well, I know it's unusual that I go further than 15 or 16 minutes, but today I have a little time, so I'm gonna go for one more, okay, which is a classic from one of my favorite writers, directors, producers. This guy was everything. I'm talking about Mr. Orson Welles, which for me the best movie is Citizen Kane. That I have it also, but Citizen Kane is a very well known movie. His story about War of Words in the radio and many other movies. This guy was a genius, a real genius. Orson Welles, man, you're the man. And this particular movie, is kind of um, one of one of his less known movies. And besides that, he didn't like it. It was with Citizen Kane, he has freedom because most of the movie was came from his packet. But in this case, he was already working with Hollywood and the companies, Hollywood production companies. So they, in some way, they touched the movie. In some way, and he wasn't happy. He said in an interview years later. So they released this DVD returning to the original idea of Orson Welles. Okay, like something like Blade Runner, that they changed the movie and it was all the controversy. Is something similar to this. That's why it's not really well-known movie. It wasn't promoted in a proper way, and even as a classic, it's not. Some people maybe don't know. I don't know if you know, but it's one of the best Orson Welles movie. It's called Touch of Evil. This is the Mexican version, which in Spanish is Sere de Mal. And it's very interesting because we have Charlton Heston, Janet Leigh, and Orson Welles. Charlton Heston, star, Janet Leigh, also very beautiful girl, and Orson Welles portraying a bad guy in this movie, actually. Okay, so Touch of Evil, it's now, let me show you this picture here, is now a classic, a cult classic, I would say, because not everyone knows about this movie. Orson Welles is really a badass in this movie. You don't recognize him, you know. And Charlton Heston pretending to be Mexican. How funny could be that? So I love it. It's a beautiful movie. It's kind of a book in a movie. So if you can see it, it's hard to find, really hard to find. But if you can get it, you're gonna love it. Okay, another classic for you guys. Okay, guys, time's up. So I hope to continue in another opportunity. Thank you very much for watching. Please share your movies with me. Criticize me, say no, you're wrong. That's nice. Let's create a discussion about this. Okay, guys. Hasta la vista. Take it easy. Goodbye.